chatting about that. So here we go. Alright, hello guys, and welcome back to Clash of the Titans, the final qualification stage, round 1, or round 5 of the tournament if you've been following it in that sense. Score currently lies at 1-all, Viper versus VG Paladin right here. Over to the right of the map in blue, we do have TheViper, he's playing as Huns, and over to the left in red, we have got VG Paladin as Vikings, and as Gene correctly assumed right there, we have got Team Islands right here.
And also, it's interesting to note that it's Vikings against Huns. The difference, the Huns have the up advantage. Huns can go up a little bit faster, but Vikings, the longer the game goes, especially on water, the more Vikings get the advantage.
Yeah, they excel. Obviously, that the cheaper ships, the cheaper docks, it's really cumulative as to how much it adds up over time. As you say, obviously the Huns not having to build houses, having that a little bit of extra wood to save early on, really does add up and allows them to be slightly more faster, which is something that I think favors the Viper very well. Obviously, he relies on speed a lot, and the fact that he is going to be a little bit faster than his opponent. So, perhaps initially what Viper's thinking is, if he gets those galleys out a little bit sooner, perhaps he could pin down the Paladin, sorry, not the Paladin, VG Paladin, pin him down and stop him from really outmassing him later on.
If I was Paladin, what I would do is actually dock in the back and let the Viking bonus work for me, while even over-investing in outposts in the front.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, and something I've seen a couple of the Chinese players doing actually. For instance, docking on the back and playing a little bit more defensively. Actually even getting out a couple more fishing ships as well, and kind of playing a little more defensive, letting your ships build up back there, and making your opponent bring the fight to you, because of course the easier it is to reinforce your galleys from your own docks, the better in terms of getting those reinforcements out and bringing them into your army.
Absolutely.
So right now, let's have a quick look at their map position. I mean, we've seen some pretty ugly maps in the past on water, with golds being so reachable from the shore. And even, I don't know if you saw that Loiza game versus Lovecheng, where Lovecheng took down his TC because it was so close to the water.
Right, that's often an issue.
Yeah, so in this case, obviously both of them far enough away from the shore, I feel. I mean, do you think the Viper's TC could be hit from there? I don't think it could. Not with...
No, it won't be. And actually, if anything, though, I would say Viper's map is better. Like, if Viper does lose the water, then his map is much better because he has land in the middle where he can boom. Whereas Paladin, if he loses water, then he's going to have really probably only 30 or 40% of his map usable.
Yeah, of course. Like, the Viper's Island is much more sort of square in a sense, and Paladin's is more sort of like boomerang shaped, kind of awkward shaped, and all of Viper's gold very, very close to the center of his map as well. So even if landing comes in, for instance, like that, it would be easier for him to sort of defend from that.
Absolutely. And oh man, Paladin did the dock in the front. He gamble. He's saying that he can take it, and already though. He's luring the boars with villagers, so he's losing time on even that. And we noticed Viper's doing it with scouts.
Yeah, we noticed Viper brought that boar in there with that scout, and now, of course, going to go and lure those deer in as well with the scout. So, as we said before this game started, he really is one of those really extremely efficient players, making the use of every second of villager time he can. And in an islands game like this, you don't have to go and scout your enemy, so making full use of that scout, really worthwhile, and that's something that Viper's doing, as you say, and at this stage Paladin isn't.
And also, you look at the timings on the boars. Viper is already finishing his second boar, which is what's going to let him go up quicker.
Yeah, much faster food gathering from the boars there, of course, and of course from deer. But Viper now going to be, as we said, getting up to the...
Oh my god.
In just a second, actually. There we go, dropping that off, and oh, he's one food off, man. There we go, he's got it, and that's quite a significant difference in terms of Paladin's up speed here.
It's huge. This is actually
It's massive.
It's huge.
I mean, for this kind of level of play at this stage of the tournament, you'd kind of think that both of them would be very close. I'm not really sure, like, what Paladin's doing in the Dark Age here, because I mean in that last game he was so slow to go up to Feudal as well. His Dark Age seems really off, and if we have a look now at the timings, Viper's about 40% of the way there, Paladin at about 10, and of course that does mean that Viper is going to be able to get those docks up and get those galleys out faster.
I don't know if he's going to make multiple docks, because right now he's on 24, so 23 villagers. I remember when me and him used to do a lot of one-on-one team islands, we'd both go up with about 25, 26 villagers. That was the aim. So here Viper is going for the extra speed just to get the boats out first. And he's doing it also because he might think that Paladin docked in the back, so he wants to reach the back before he can mass ships.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, are you a little bit surprised that he's not scouting with his fishing ship right now? You'd assume that he's going to want to know where Paladin is when he's about to just send galleys over. It's almost like he kind of assumes he's going to dock on the front. You can see he's set his gather points there, but so confident in that he's not actually scouted it with his fishing ships right now. And I feel that's something that a lot of players don't seem to do that often these days, like actually scouting with their fishing ships. Obviously that time is kind of crucial in terms of getting those resources in, but I still think
that's exactly why. That's exactly why they don't do it. You need every single because initially the economy is so weak, it's so well balanced that you really rely on your villager flow for those poor fishing ships.
Yeah. So right now, you know what Viper could do right here? Ah, no, he's not going to have the time. I was going to say he could have tried to delay that dock as well if he attacked the villager right there. But we can see 3 docks for both of them, but Viper up first, and Paladin's probably going to lose a ship or 2 here, or at least be denied fish for this entire time, before he even gets a galley out. So that's
they have equal ships, they have equal docks, and Viper is already outproducing him. So he's going to be at least 2.5 boats ahead, which is very, very big for these games.
I agree. Paladin, though, 4 docks, though, which is something...
And he's gathering inside.
Yeah. And also, one of those docks was idle there. I mean, what do you think to going 4 docks so early? He can't actually sustain production from all 4. And he's actually slowing down production right now because he can't afford to keep production from all 3 because of that 4th dock. Do you think that was really kind of quite early for him?
The whole point of multiple buildings is to keep, it's a waste if you can't keep production going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is early.
A little bit.
But it's Viking. It's Viking. So for the 3 ships that he makes, the other one is basically free compared to Viper.
True. Yeah. So I suppose it's common to see that early 4th dock, but keeping that production up, it looks like he's going to be able to do it right now. But Viper now, you see adding a dock on the, not a dock, a barracks even on the front there. Looks like he's either thinking of landing or preparing for a landing of sorts. He's going to have to take out Paladin's ships here though, and he really does have the numbers at this stage. 8 compared to 6. But Paladin, of course, on that extra dock, so going to catch him up pretty quickly, and Viper needs to, there we go, make that transport ship. Blacksmith going down right now as well, and of course that fletching upgrade going to be so crucial in terms of getting better micro. I mean, obviously the fletching going to make it so much easier for them to micro in this sense. And there's the blacksmith from Viper. Don't see the blacksmith from Paladin just yet. Looks like Viper then going to get that transport over quite successfully here, and I really thought this was kind of the direction he was going to go in. Really fast up to Feudal, take the water, well, initially as fast as he can, and then force it onto the land. Is he going to get this transport over, though? It looks like he will. Doesn't seem like Paladin's going to see this at all.
Oh man, he's going to surprise him also. That's big. And Paladin is not using his scout. He's not patrolling the coastline.
No, and he's not built houses around the coastline either. I remember watching Tim play a while back on Team Islands, and he'd build houses the entire kind of circumference of his island, making sure that every single bit was covered, and then get the town watch like Jordan would, for instance. But he's not done that. And as you say, he's not scouting with his scout either, and that's huge because... Oh, wait, no. He might just see it there with that fishing ship. Yeah, he's seen it. Oh man. That was unlucky. I mean, Viper could have actually stopped that if he put the if he put his galleys nearby there.
Or if he built a little bit more in.
So Paladin going to be aware of that, and Paladin going to have a pretty easy wall here, actually. This tree line with the stone going to make it very easy for him to wall that up, and that's a really big deal for the Viper here, because he's not invested so much in water right now. Paladin should be able to take it from him.
This actually was a mistake, and Paladin, what he should be doing is a stone wall on both sides. Just a quick stone wall, and have a nice day.
Yep, Viper though could still utilize that transport ship, but did he delete it? I think he deleted his transport, didn't he? Yeah. Oh man, that's really unfortunate. I mean, the Viper there deleting that transport so that it wouldn't be spotted, but now he is going to lose water, and he's relying so heavily on pushing this at the front here, but he's already walled, and man, that's going to make it difficult. I think though, as you said earlier, the fact that the Viper does have a better map for booming here, he can always fall back and try and outboom Paladin.
It's gonna have to be. That's gonna have to be the move, because already his forward is shut down and he can't transport. He lost the water too.
Yeah. So he has to sit back now, boom it up as much as he possibly can. And I feel like if he does that, it's still not out of the question that he could end up taking this game. It's just going to be so much more difficult to do it. I remember watching a game a while back where Tim did something similar. He ended up being like cornered in his island, but he made 5-6 TCs and just boomed, and he outboomed his opponent and ended up taking that game. So I mean, it is possible to do, just extremely challenging. Idle villagers here at the front as well, and able to get that watchtower up, and losing those one villager.
And when he cancelled it, he did not get back the 125 stone. He got back only 119.
Yeah.
So that's also a miss.
Oh man. Viper though, going to keep those villagers working, at least put a lumber camp up there, and now of course going to want to be getting up to that castle age. Downside for him, no fishing ships at the moment. Continuing to build galleys though, actually. He thinks he might be able to take the water back. I think that's a little bit of a bad decision for him to make here.
In his place, I would have at least made one galley in each one, just for the hope of Paladin panicking and making much more sea.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously, if Paladin overcompensates there, that can buy the Viper quite a lot of time. It seems like, though, he is continuing that galley production, and it seems futile to me, because he will lose those docks pretty quickly to Paladin's ships right there. And with
He's doing it only so that he has some army to raid the fish with.
Yeah, I suppose that's right.
He wants a reserve for that. Other than raiding, he's not going to engage any of these fights.
Yeah, but
and he's going to pick up
fish right now, so I guess he's going to try and keep them alive until Paladin might repopulate his fishing ships.
That would be how I would play it.
That would be a smart move for sure. But right now, actually, Paladin kind of getting caught out there. He's splitting his army up, leaving a couple around. Viper's just going to be a nuisance on the water, I feel here. But he's actually stopped that production right now. And now
the nuisance bit is very big, because any way you can make him overcommit to water, build extra ships, waste extra wood, helps you come back. Any way you can delay him, I mean, even raid him a little bit and make him, miss some villagers, maybe have a less efficient economy. This is how Viper is going to get back in the game.
Yeah, transport ship on the bottom, actually. He did actually send those archers around. I don't know how he got that transport ship over there, but he did it. And sending those archers in right now, Paladin going to try and take them down, though. And with only fletching and only 5 archers, he's going to not be able to do all that much damage. Quick wall from Paladin as well. And Viper's not really going to be able to do all that much with that, I feel. But as we said earlier, being a nuisance, that's what really matters. It's going to delay Paladin's eco a little bit. It's going to just kind of not catch him off guard as much, but just kind of keep his attention elsewhere when he should be focusing on his economy.
Oh man, Paladin still has an open side, and well, Viper has the transport, so...
Yeah, he does, but more galleys coming in from Paladin right now, so Viper could very quickly lose these ships if he's not careful. One thing to note though, Viper is up to castle, and Paladin is still feudal right now, so let's see if he's still making galleys. No, he's not.
Paladin is still feudal because he overcommitted to the galleys, and because this the nuisance actually kept him as a less efficient economy.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with you there. But I think, yeah, going to try and get up to the castle age quickly here. Obviously stopping that galley production, and yeah, he's going to be able to click up just now.
And Viper's going to go back on sea. Now, the thing about war galleys, the war galley upgrade, it doesn't make just your ships much stronger. It makes them produce like almost half the time of the regular galleys. So it's instead of a 60-second production, it's a 35-second production, which is the other big thing, because now your 4 docks are equal to the enemy feudal guys 6, 7.
Yeah, 6 and 7. So that's huge. And obviously now he's going with 4 docks right here up at the top. Paladin's found it, but he is already castle. He's already researching the war galley right there, and I believe Bodkin Arrow was just done. Yeah, so he's going to have fully upgraded, well, almost fully upgraded war galleys.
Oh my god,
TC
that's
is going down
such
as
a
well.
cool game. This is such a cool game because it shows a lot of different plays. Oh, also if you look at Paladin's lumber, the first lumber he made, he still hasn't made it.
Oh,
so that is a very inefficient spot. But it's hard to notice it because it's downhill.
Not only that as well, but when villagers walk down hills, they take longer than if they just walk across flat land. So actually, it's taking even longer for them to walk up and down the hill every time as well, which is actually, it adds up to so much if you think about it. I mean, that's what, 7 villages right there. That's a long time they have to walk between drop-offs. So Paladin right now is sending those galleys around to the corner of the map. Obviously, I presume at this stage just to stay away from the Viper's war galleys until he can upgrade them himself. He's about 65-70% up to castle right now. But Viper can start working on these docks on the front already. No problem at all for him. And yeah, this is really nice. I mean, he's clearly thought about exactly what he wants to do here. And obviously, after losing that push, a lot of players would just go back to their island and boom it up. But Viper straight back onto the water. And I suppose it's a lot easier to do on Team Islands to get back onto the water because you are dealing with a map that has a lot more surface area on the islands and a lot more water as well.
Yeah.
Raiding as well, and more cavalry archers coming out from these archery ranges at the South Island. South of the island there.
Oh man, this is such a good game. This is a great game actually.
Okay, I was just going to see where Paladin was researching the war galley right there. Of course, if Viper focuses down the right dock, it could prevent it, but it looks to me like that war galley will get done. But instead, focusing down on that house, going to be able to get those cavalry archers in there. And that's a huge deal because he's going to really disrupt Paladin's economy with those.
That's why you always stonewall not just by the structures, but you make the whole wall.
Yeah, that's crucial. So there we go, Viper's in with those cavalry archers right now. Big hole in Paladin's wall. I don't even think he really noticed that. A couple of crossbows out for him. But Viper, of course, with the cavalry archers, is going to be much more effective at taking them out. Right now, though, seemingly just attacking that house. I don't think he's really realized. That's a huge mistake from him. Really making.
Well, he's trying to run away from the fight on the sea. He doesn't want to lose the fight on the sea.
I suppose that's really more important to him at this stage, taking that water back. It's going to be fairly tough right now, though, I feel, because, I mean, even though, yeah, he did get up to castle sooner and he did get that war galley upgrade sooner, Paladin is still going to be able to outproduce him, being Vikings here. He could add in a couple more docks quite comfortably if he wanted to.
He needs to re-wall the gap and, yeah, then focus on taking the docks, focus on taking the water. As Viking, he should be able to take the water very well. Oh, and actually Viper is investing in economy now.
Yeah, he
just put down 3 town centers, which is 1,000 wood.
That's a lot. Paladin did just also put down a university right now, so ballistic's going to be on the way for him very shortly, which of course is going to make it even easier for him to win in a 1v1 fight, especially if Viper's retreating. Going to take a lot more losses there.
I'm actually not a fan of ballistics. I feel it's a waste of these 700 resources.
It is quite expensive, but I still think that, you know, if you're in a 1v1 fight and your opponent runs away, or if they're trying to micro you and, you know, you've got ballistics here, you're going to be putting out so much more damage because of it.
You'll get an extra basically to justify the ballistics, you have to kill 10 ships. And most of the time at this level, when the guy is running away, he's not going to lose 10 ships.
Yeah,
it's going to help. It's going to help a little bit, but I would never get into fights. I would never engage in fights where I would need ballistics.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's understandable. I suppose if you can avoid it, then that's resources saved, I suppose. One thing that I really like here, up at the north, when Viper was adding in those demolition ships, I love seeing that. When your enemy has got like loads of boats surrounding your docks, taking them out, and you build a couple of demolition ships in there. Oh, it's so good. So let's have a look at how many they have on the water right now. We've got 32 war galleys for the Viper and 31 for VG Paladin. So in a straight up fight, the Viper should take it. It's really interesting actually, the fact that Viper's invested so much in economy, but he's actually still ahead in terms of galleys right now. Oh, actually, there was a little landing there from Paladin. I didn't notice that. Sending a couple of crossbows over, managing to kill 3, maybe 4 villagers. Maybe even might get a couple more as well. Actually, Viper doesn't have any military production back at home yet, and had to put that up very quickly there. So Paladin's landing, actually doing quite a lot of damage with just 3 crossbows. 5 villagers down, continuing to take more out as well. Yeah, a couple of cavalry archers out, and I think, yeah, look at this. Viper's really over reacting to this. A lot of cavalry archer production there for what, 3 crossbows. Although saying that, you know, there could be more on the way. He doesn't really know, I suppose. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. TC deny at the back island, or the back of Paladin's island right there. Viper's war galley is preventing that one from going up, and that's kind of nice for him. He's going to slow down that TC going up, and Paladin at this stage still only on the 2 TCs right now. But looking to get really heavy into this landing. Siege workshop up there, battering ram coming out, and more transport ships as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that town center, it's not a good placement, because if you lose water, then that town center is dead. But there's no other place to put it. Maybe by the stone, but it's not really doing much.
No, true. I mean, there's a gold pile up on the north, but you can't really put that against the tree line there. So yeah, I suppose, I mean, putting that TC there, kind of an okay placement. But as you say, if he loses water, that's really bad news for him. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this landing from Paladin goes right here. I mean, this battering ram out, the crossbows out as well. And Viper going to try and put an end to Paladin's rule on the water, it seems. But also still creating a few cavalry archers back at home to defend with. Just having a look at that population.
I'm actually surprised that Paladin's not making more galleys. I mean, he just started making more. But I feel if he made like an extra 10, 15, he would have had water.
Yeah, I mean, Viper's got so much of his army sort of like split around on the water here, a few at the back, and Paladin's sending quite a lot of units over to deal with that. Little fight on the top right now. Viper getting in there doing so much damage before Paladin even reacted. That's a huge loss for Paladin right there. I suppose really Paladin not patrolling his galleys there really made quite a bit of a difference. Viper able to push in, and let's see if he's actually able to take Paladin out right here on the water. He might just have the numbers, but no way to reinforce at the moment, as his docks are right on the back of his island.
The thing to also consider, Huns against Vikings. Huns are in an excellent position in very early feudal. But the longer the game goes, the more advantage the Viking has, especially on water maps.
Yeah, definitely.
So the longer the game goes, the higher chance Paladin has just by the civs to actually take the game.
Yeah, of course that's not taking into account how the players decide to play it or what they might do differently to kind of catch them off guard. Paladin though going over right now with a couple more crossbows. Only 4 by the looks of things. Not really enough to do any damage, as Viper does have 5 or 6 cavalry archers right there to defend with. But I think right now, Viper heavily investing in water in the back again. I mean, what's that? 6, 7, 8, 9 docks right there. And that's a lot of galley production for now. But Paladin has just clicked up to the Imperial Age. But then saying that, so has Viper, quite a few minutes earlier. And Viper now, this is probably what he's looking for. Trying to really remass up on his galleys, get the galleon upgrade, and try and do what he tried to do in the Castle Age once again.
Paladin needs to focus on his wood economy and to really mass sea.
Yeah, if we have a look at how many galleys docks he's got. He's got 5 docks right there. Viper, as we said, sitting on like 9 right now, and going to be keeping that production up. Also, about to hit the Imperial Age. So let's have a look numbers-wise quickly. They're on what, Viper 21 ships, 29 for Paladin. So he still actually is ahead. But of course, those extra eco upgrades going to come in once they hit the Imperial Age. And Viper right now, just going to be trying to master as many as he can up really shortly. More crossbows being sent over from Paladin here though, and that is just being a real nuisance to the Viper. He's pushed him off this gold so many times.
Yeah.
And the Viper should have enough cavalry archers here to deal with it. I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't. But
they're basically kamikaze units just to do some damage and to annoy him some more.
Yeah, exactly. So right
Buy
now,
some time.
Viper up to the Imperial Age quite a lot sooner than Paladin right now. Galleon is being researched, of course. Bracer most likely on the way as well. And Viper now going to be looking to push, make that push, and clean up Paladin on the water wherever he can, I feel.
Viper just now got the careening upgrade. And actually, careening makes ships take... it gives you 1 armor. But in Galleon Wars, it actually... the damage you take is 3 less. So instead of just 1, it's actually 3 less. It's a very good upgrade for late game.
Yeah, and it's the kind of upgrade that actually you don't see that often. There's so many games that I've seen where players don't get that careening upgrade. And I think it's, as you say, it's so kind of crucial. I mean, obviously +1 armor, but taking 3 less damage is a huge deal. And Viper now, with those galleons done, with the bracer done, and careening, are just waiting on chemistry right now. And they're going to be fully upgraded. He's just going to try and do as much damage as he possibly can here, because, you know, as we said earlier, Paladin, the longer this game goes on, the easier it is for him to mass up those galleys and take an advantage. So
he needs to start doing side docks, and oh, he's got galleons now. Yeah.
It's going to be tough. Numbers-wise, I think Paladin's still ahead. 48 compared to the Viper's 31. Upgrades, though, I mean, Viper does have that +1 ship armor right now, but...
Actually, the reason why people don't get the ship armor because it's 250 food and 150 gold. In Castle Age, it makes it's basically a quarter of what you need to go to Imperial. So people like to go to Imperial and then get the upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, like even in the Imperial Age, we don't. I don't see it that often.
Oh, then whatever they miss it is just a mistake.
Paladin right here going for chemistry first before careening. Obviously that extra 1 attack right there. And Viper's still lacking chemistry right now, and that's quite late. I mean, he can afford it. I mean, he could have afforded it. So no chemistry for him just yet. Let's see how this one goes. Of course, he has got his castle to fall back to, keeping his docks safe for now. And actually, Paladin attacking that dock with a lot of ships right there.
That's a very big mistake.
And I think maybe he patrolled that there. Obviously, the patrol...
It's not a bad... Well, it's not so much... It is a bad patrol, but it's also not a bad patrol. It's just more like bad unit management.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, if you don't patrol, you're risking a lot of massive losses. But of course, if you do patrol like this and end up half your galleys attacking something, the wrong thing, that's kind of a big deal. One thing I noticed there, did you see that monk with the relic just going by in that transport ship?
Yeah.
Viper loves his relics. I mean, every game we've seen so far, he's done whatever he can to take the relics. Even going across to Paladin's Island to steal that relic there, that's quite fun. Is he going to move it though? I mean, that monk's going to die if he's not careful. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, man.
That is a shame. I think now though, Paladin really has got the upper hand. He has got careening done, and he has got an extra 1 attack from chemistry as well. Viper's going to have a tough time here, I feel. They're both pretty much, you know, post-Imperial right now. It's going to be hard.
I mean, not so much post because they don't have a lot of the upgrades done yet. For example, to really get it to a post-Imperial game for this kind of scenario, it would be Hans has the light cavalry with, or maybe even Hussar upgrade. So he can jump and start raiding him on his land. Whereas Viking would have the siege ram and arbalest.
Yeah. Of course, siege ram, great for absorbing that galleon fire on the shore, for instance. Something that's really can turn the tides. I think less so in a Team Islands game, but something more that you see in sort of in islands when you're claiming those little islands with the resources on. Paladin here, though, should really be able to take the water, I feel. I mean, he's got so much more production, and obviously with cheaper ships as well, going to be making good use of them.
Paladin needs cannon galleons.
Yeah.
Did he start them yet?
Let's have a look. I don't think so. I didn't see any. Oh no, yeah, he has. First cannon galleon's about to come out, so...
And that's actually a bad patrol by him. By the way, guys, whenever you patrol units, when you're trying to retreat, always stop your army and then click to where you're going. Basically, if you patrol to a point and you then click to run away, 80% of the time the units will go first to the patrol point and then they will go to the place where you said. So if you stop the command, you negate it, and then you run, that's going to save you a lot of army, a lot of units.
A lot of losses, definitely. Yeah, so cannon galleon, as we were saying, for Paladin right here, that's going to be pretty huge. I mean, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage from the shore right there. Possibly going to be able to take out that castle and then further take out those docks. We can see the first cannon galleons right there coming in. Kind of a big deal to have to deal with. Viper, though, going around the back now with some galleons as well, looking to take out what eco he can from Paladin. He knows that TC is on the shore, so might be able to get something done with that. But Paladin just has so many more war galleons here, it seems.
The thing about the cannon galleons is they're like trebuchets. They force the enemy player to engage you. It's a unit that basically, if you don't engage, then you're going to lose your buildings, and if you do engage, then you're going to lose your army.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lose-lose situation in a sense, because if you don't have the units to engage with, then you're going to lose your army as well. That's kind of a big deal, I suppose. Viper here with those galleons at the back, but he really is low on numbers right now, it seems. I mean, he's got VG Paladin has 77 warships. Viper has 30. So massively outnumbered, but there's those hussars that we were talking about earlier being landed over right now. And, you know, they're going to keep coming over by the looks of things, because Paladin has absolutely nothing on this south side to actually protect against it. Hussars
needs to just wall off the economy. And we'll see if he's able to.
Oh man!
Oh man! Almost.
That was ridiculous. But the thing is, he is going to stop Viper from getting through again. So it's literally just these hussars that are in. Do you think if Viper does a huge amount of damage to Paladin's economy, he'll be able to bring it back?
Yes, of course. That's. I mean, the idea is to use up to raid the economy while fighting. And if you have an economy going, even if it's a weaker army, you're still going to eventually dwindle him down little by little.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally on that. Paladin here trying to get that castle up, but a lot of villagers going down to the hussars there. Obviously a great raiding unit, quite cheap, well, cheap to make in terms of gold anyway, and pretty good attack on them as well for taking out villagers. So, going to be raiding pretty nicely with them. Of course, I think that's really the key here for him, because of course if he can slow down or stop Paladin's galley production, which is it's going to be pretty tough, but if he can do it, especially looking at Paladin's gold now, he's fairly low on gold, then the Viper could end up outmassing him once again. It's not going to be
actually
easy,
one thing to also consider, Viper currently has about 110 to 120 villagers, which is too much economy for a islands game. It actually is too much economy.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his resources right now, almost 4k wood, 3k food, 2k stone. Look at Paladin, he's got very little in terms of everything, apart from 2k wood, which is much better in a sense, because he's actually...
Oh, it's much better, yes, it is much better, but I mean, it's not good because he doesn't have enough room for actual army.
Yeah.
The castle on the side, actually the landing that Viper's doing, is going to be big.
It is. It's stopping that gold. It's going to secure him that gold. But also as well with that siege workshop going down on the front, he's probably looking to really kind of steamroll through Paladin here. One question I've got for you. What do you think to the Tarkan? It's something that just never is really seen, but I mean, I've seen games where players mass up a load of Tarkans and just steamroll through their opponent's economies like in a matter of minutes. Do you think that's actually pretty good or not?
Problem with Tarkans is they get countered by basically everything.
Yeah.
Everything that's not an archer counters them.
Yeah.
They're only good against buildings and a little bit of... I mean, they're good at raiding villagers. But it's overall a very weak unit.
Yeah.
It's more just for fun. Like you only do it if you're really ahead and if you want to just have some fun.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just not a serious unit.
Well, I mean, it's something that you just never really see, but something that I think is really cool when it does happen.
No, it's really cool, and I mean the players like if you're a good player and if you have, or at least if you have good micro, then you can do a lot of damage with Tarkans. But if you had Paladins, you would do more damage.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you got Paladin option available to you, which it is for Huns, then yeah, totally right on that one. One thing I was noticing at the top, Viper actually researched heavy demolition ship right there, and actually was putting out some demolition ships into these galleons here. That was quite fun to watch. But right now, he's really focusing on the south side, and with the amount of galleons that Paladin has right here, it's going to be pretty tough for the Viper, I feel, especially now as well with the cannon galleons coming in as well. And he is really going to have to do everything to take down Paladin's eco here. Siege Ram is done though, and he is continuing to make those hussars. So of course Siege Ram going to enable him to soak up a lot of fire from the galleons here.
But for the Siege Rams, he needs Siege Workshops.
Which
he's out of Siege Workshops.
Yeah. Oh man. This is a really close game actually, but I mean look at the scores. I mean they're so close even now at this stage of the game. But I feel that Viper now, he's losing a lot in terms of military production. He's lost a lot of docks at the back. He's going to lose these ones on the front. And the cannon galleon from VG Paladin, which is really securing him this game at the moment. The cannon galleon is kind of the key for him.
Yeah. And Paladin, actually, I thought it was the bad move to keep his ships on the back, but he ended up clearing the docks. He ended up kind of fighting off the landing, so it turned out to be a good move. What Paladin should do is put one ship every like 15 tiles all around the map.
Yeah. And that way he will always see if Viper's rebuilding his docks and where he's, well, every move that he's making really.
And not only that, but also he'll keep him off all the resources that are all along the coast.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we can already see he's lost that gold on the front there on his island.
Which is big, yeah.
And no more gold on his island left. He is taking, well, he was taking the gold on Paladin's island next to his castle here. But as we said before, the cannon galleons just making him lose those castles, forcing the fight. And now the Viper really going to have to focus so hard on taking out Paladin's eco here. And you know, he might just do it. He's got a couple of rams in here. And Paladin has pretty much got only water right now. If he loses his eco, then, I mean, it's pretty much anyone's game still.
Yep. He doesn't have a counter.
No. So Viper's in right there.
Viper's in.
But is he going to be able to do it? I mean, Paladin's still going to be able to surround both islands with ships if he wants to. But if he's got no economy, then eventually it's like war of attrition in a sense. He's never going to be able to get back on his feet and continue to play.
Actually, yeah, I would say that Viper won the land.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit early to call that because I mean, Halberdier, well, Pikeman right now coming out for Paladin, but he's got no food.
No, it's the reason it's not too early is he doesn't. Paladin doesn't have a strong economy. He has very little food, and he has unupgraded pikemen versus fully upgraded hussars that just have a lot of it, plus siege rams.
Wow, actually you're right. I mean, his food is like nothing right now. He has no food income really. I mean, 10 farms maybe. Let's have a quick look.
The thing Viper should be doing is raiding. Yeah. He has to raid. He has to attack.
Kill those villagers instead of attacking the houses and the lumber camps. But
yeah. Well, those lumber camps are very important. I mean, you know, you kill those, the game's over. The guy can't get wood, so he can't make ships.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean... Oh, there we go. Raiding at the back right now. Paladin pick up a couple of castles, but I mean, they're going to be taken down pretty quickly by the rams right here.
Yeah.
Let's see if the Viper can take out these pikemen wherever he can, and at the moment going to have an easy job of that. He's only actually attacking the rams right now, so if this pikemen go down...
That's exactly it. That's actually why, that's the main reason why this could work.
Yeah.
Because instead of attacking the horses, the pikes often target the rams.
Yeah. Of course, it kind of makes sense why you'd want to target the rams. They're the ones destroying your castles, and I suppose players feel a lot safer when they're hiding, their economies are protected by a load of castles. But right now, Viper's raiding seems to be really paying off. If we have a look, Paladin has like no villagers left at this stage. Really, very few villagers.
He didn't really remake them. Like when he lost the villagers, he did not remake them, and that was a big mistake on his part.
Yeah.
He also did not do any land army because remember, this is there's two parts. It's land and sea, and the land army that he should have made was Arbalest. If he made the Arbalests, then he'd be able to actually counter the Hussars.
Oh yeah, it would be much easier for him to counter the Hussars with the Arbalest there, which is of course what you'd expect the Viking player to do. This day, it's looking so bad for Paladin though. I mean, alright, sure, he's pretty much won the water. There's a little bit of a fight going on the right-hand side right now with the Viper and Paladin over here, but it doesn't really matter who wins this fight because ultimately Paladin losing the land is pretty much losing the game.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of time to build up the water and take it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Paladin can only sit on these ships for a certain amount of time. If he can't produce any more, then the Viper has it, basically. Look at that. He saw those relics right there, and he was like, I'll take those too, thank you. Putting a monastery down next to that. Typical. Typical.
Well, it's free gold. You do nothing and you get gold. It's an excellent, excellent item.
Why would you not do that? Man, this is a really, really cool game, though. I mean, it's been a long one, but it's certainly been an interesting one. Paladin, I think, pretty speechless right now. Just like, so yeah, do I resign now? Man, I think he felt so secure in the fact that he had the water. And now losing the land is kind of just like a real kick in the balls to him, really.
This is actually, this game is a lesson for everyone that's watching it too, because the only reason Viper won is because Paladin did not push him off the land. He still let Paladin be on the land, or Viper be on Paladin's land. He had a lot of ships, he could have brought it, he could have brought the counter galleons and cleared it, but instead he just was overconfident.
Yeah, definitely. There's the GG from Paladin. The good game. And there we go. Viper gonna take that one, making the series 2-1 at the moment. It is a best of 5 though. Sorry, best of 7. So we have got another 4 to go.
This was a great game, guys. This was really, really great.
Yeah, definitely. Really one of the best games I've seen so far this tournament that I've casted. But yeah, we're going to come out right now. I'm going to play a very quick advert and then we'll go into the next game in just a moment's time.